These are apple sticks from our orchard. This is our pen of baby bunnies. I'm trying not to poke anyone here. But one of the things we're gonna do is you always want something for your bunnies to do, something for them to chew on. Apple sticks are just a great natural solution. We never use any chemicals, anything like that in our orchard, and so these are completely natural chew sticks. It also helps with their teeth, it helps with their development, it really gives them just a ton to do. We have the orchard in front of us. It is actually the end of February when we're filming this. There's still some apples on the tree, and we have a lot of sheep in the background, as you can see. Harry, Ron, and Hermione. But when we're thinking about giving our rabbits these twigs and these apple trees, from these apple trees, normally you're going to want to cut these apple twigs off the apple trees near the end of winter, beginning of spring. So while the trees are still sleeping, while they're still dormant, and really after there's a lot of chances of freezing. So there's a lot of things we can cut off these trees, a lot of twigs, anything like this particular twig that can come off. And typically you want to do this again at the end of winter and the early beginning of spring. But if you're in a situation where your rabbits need twigs, if you cut a few here and there off the trees, it's going to be okay. You don't really want to do a ton of pruning in the middle of winter. So on this particular tree, this is a very nice, sturdy old tree. If I cut a couple of the twigs that look like this, that's okay. That's not going to be something that causes a huge disturbance to the tree. One of the risks is the spot that you actually cut it from. When it freezes, it can develop a little bit of problems on the actual branch itself there from the freezing. But if you don't do this a ton, the tree itself is going to be okay. Just not heavy pruning in the middle of winter. So if you have access as well to pear trees, you can give your rabbits some of the twigs from the pear trees as well. So we don't often do pear trees because we don't have as many pear trees on the property. This is a pear tree that we do have, and sometimes we do cut some twigs off of this for them, but more than likely what the rabbits are going to get are the apple trees. Some things to consider when you're thinking about apples twigs for your rabbits. Definitely know the orchard or know the tree that the twigs come from. If you're just going onto any property, even if it looks abandoned or if it's just an apple tree, you're not sure if it's an apple tree or what kind of tree it is, you're not sure if it has chemicals or not, you want to know the actual tree that it's coming from is an apple tree and it has no chemicals on it. You definitely always want to have permission, whatever property you're going on, to get the apple trees to get the apple twigs if it's not your property. So know the actual tree itself. Know what it is, if it is for sure an apple tree, and know if it is a tree that has been treated with chemicals or not. Avoid any tree that has been treated with chemicals. Don't give those twigs to your rabbits. The tools that we use for actually trimming, what you're looking at right here, 2 different clippers. So we have this pair right here of hand trimmers, and this is a little bit of a longer handled pair, so if you take a look back. Also, right next to it is this handsaw. We use that tool for trimming, and for the really big pieces, they require a chainsaw. The tool that we don't use is just sitting in the middle. It's that scraper for snow and ice. We do not need that for the trees. But those are 3 tools that we use a lot for the trimming of the actual apple branches, and for big ones we use the chainsaw. Above the rabbit area, we have the bales of hay. And right next to the bales of hay, there's a spot for the apple sticks. This is where we put them. You can see the pile of apple sticks. There's a lot of space in between the bale of hay and the actual apple sticks and the end of the end of the shelf. Well, this pile starts out much larger in the spring after we actually, the end of winter, early spring when we prune the trees, and it gets smaller as we get through winter. You can see these, we have some bigger pieces here, we have some thinner pieces. As these twigs dry out here, they don't have much moisture in them, and that's something to consider, that you're not really giving your rabbit any moisture when you're feeding these to them. They definitely love bark that has moisture in it, but they also enjoy chewing on these apple twigs as well. Here are 2 sticks, and these are a stick that has been completely chewed, has a little bit of angora on it. This is an apple stick, so this is what we're looking at for the width of the stick here. And this is a stick that it started to have been chewed, and it wasn't completely chewed. These were sticks that are fed to the rabbits when they are dry. So, trying to get it to focus to look at the width of the stick. One of these is a little bit wider than the other. This is thinner, this is a little bit wider. These are pretty wide sticks. Your rabbits, you're going to actually see some of the marks from their teeth, and this is very good for rabbit teeth. The little rabbits, they can chew on these. Big rabbits can chew on these. Older rabbits, younger rabbits. Older rabbits, one thing to consider is that they may, as rabbits get older, they may start having some dental issues, some teeth issues, just naturally, just like humans. As you age, things are not the same as when you're young. So just some things to kind of pay attention to. But this is how the sticks look like after they've been started to have been chewed and then completely chewed. When you look inside your rabbit pen and you see apple twigs that look like this, that means it's time to take these twigs out. Your rabbit probably isn't going to chew very much on these, and you're going to start getting, if they're an angora rabbit, you're going to get bits of fluff and wool stuck into the sticks. So your rabbit would probably appreciate some new apple twigs at that point. Place 2 new apple twig sticks inside. They have a variety, so we didn't place the same kind. It doesn't matter too much as long as there's a steady supply. There's some thinner ones, medium-sized, and then we have a quite thick one. So Arthur enjoys chewing on any different size apple twig. What you're watching Jeffrey do is chin the twigs. So not only is he nibbling them a little bit and eating them a little bit, but if you give your rabbits apple sticks, you may notice sometimes they're just doing this behavior. A little bit of nibbling, little bit of chewing, but also chinning them. Chinning them is marking them and saying, these apple sticks right here, those are mine. And that's a normal rabbit behavior, so don't worry too much about that. Someone who doesn't chew on apple